All right, hi everybody. I didn't type these in; they were just here from last time. So anyway, we're gonna do StarTropics 80%. Oh yeah, I'm ZeroCounts. It says that below. But all right, let's do this. I will count down in 3, 2, 1, start. All right, Chapter 1. Yeah, this is StarTropics. You play as Mike Jones. You go to Sea Island visiting your uncle. You took a helicopter to get here. You're a star pitcher, an ace pitcher, as they say in the game. There's like some people like to call this an RPG. I mean, I guess you talk to like people in Overworld, but that's about it. There's really no other RPG elements. We have to talk to a couple characters in here in each town in order to gain access to the dungeons, and then that's where like the real gameplay starts. Something to note is that all of the inputs in StarTropics are buffered, so which essentially means that, well, y'all know what buffering is. As the animation for one input is happening, you can input the next one, and then that allows the next input to happen on the very first open frame following the animation of the previous input. Which basically means that most of the things in StarTropics, as long as you buffer your inputs, are guaranteed. So there's a lot of things in this game where you're going to be like setting up buffered inputs, like counting, making sure that the number of frames that inputs take line up with what you want to happen, and then just dealing with enemy RNG in the process. So anyway, here we go. Hopefully we don't see this lady again. She only shows up if you die. Alright, here we are, first dungeon. We got some jellies here. Oh yeah, we have a yo-yo. That's our weapon. That's what makes this game so cool. You throw a yo-yo. And because you're an ace pitcher, you have a hell of an arm. So you just like obliterate anything that the yo-yo hits. If you've never played StarTropics before, it looks like Zelda, but doesn't really play like it. And the reason for that is that everything in StarTropics is on a grid system, so it's kind of like a chessboard. And unless you're jumping between platforms, you can jump across a single space, like I am right now. Hang on, I just got to make sure I do this right. Fun fact: we were doing this room incorrectly for years until somebody was just like, "Hey, wait a minute." You just kill this guy first, it's a lot faster. And now that's what we do. What was I saying? Oh, the movement, yeah. You snap into all the different squares on the grid. So once you move onto one, you can't put in another input until you're already completely moved into that position. You can attack anytime. Even during movement and stuff, so there's some pretty cool tech for that. We're coming up on the first boss. I'm gonna buffer an input here to take care of that bat. Oops. Oh boy. Hang on. Okay. I need to be able to take a hit against this boss. Oh. Okay. There we go. Just gonna damage boost through. Use those iframes. I always forget that you don't really have audio cues in this way. No, don't apologize. I just forget. You know, oh, I can hear it a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You can always tell like when the snake is gonna shoot a fireball at you based on like how it's screaming. And so you kind of usually listen out for that. But there's some visual tells as well. You just don't have as many frames to react. This is Babu. Babu is awesome. He's our uncle's sidekick, I guess, lab assistant. I don't know. He tells us that he's like nervous about something. It seems like he wants to tell us something, but he just won't say it. We'll find out what's going on later. That's the end of Chapter 1. The game is split up into 8 chapters. And it usually, most of them work out the same. They'll have an overworld section where you kind of talk to NPCs and they'll figure out what's going on. This dolphin finds us on our way to the second island and says, "Hey, my son has been kidnapped. Can you help him?" And you're like, I guess we can. It's not like we have anything else to do. We gotta talk to this lady who tells us that they saw a message in a bottle on the shore, and then when you come back out to the overworld, there indeed is a message in a bottle on the shore, so you go read that. The inputs in menus are also buffered in text boxes, so there are some instances where you need to say like no instead of yes, and so you'll buffer a right input in order to select no at the first frame that's available. Now we have the ability to dive with our ship, or our submarine. Also, shoutouts to Navcom in the sub. Definitely designed after Rob the Robot. Shoutouts to everybody's favorite NES robot. Alright, this is the second dungeon. This is where you're gonna start really seeing some like weird inputs and stuff. Like I'll be doing like weird like jumps and things in the air for different reasons. And that's basically to make sure that these sinking tiles, I land on them exactly when they come out of the ground, or out of the water. I'm going to try to do a lag cancel here, attacking this bat. There we go. Doing that little back and spin essentially prevents the game from lagging a little bit. And there I did a spin in midair to cause lag, so that I'd come out of the... I land right when that sinking tile comes out of the water. If I didn't do that, I would have fallen straight into the water when that happened. Alright, we didn't take any damage, so we can take a few hits here. Okay, take that. We use our baseball bat. The first time we're gonna oh shoot. We're gonna buffer some jumps here so we can hit that bat at the first opportunity that it shows up, or that's within range. We have to open up this chest here to get a snowman, which we are going to use on the boss. The snowman freezes everything on screen for a few seconds, including Octo the Huge, the boss of this chapter. Alright, this is Octo the Huge, boss of chapter 2. I usually use some audio cues to hear Octo come down, but we'll see. I'll have to kind of use visuals, which is a little more difficult to predict. Wow. Okay. Alright, we are buffering inputs here, not mashing. If you were to mash, you wouldn't get enough hits in, because the mashes would like overlap with each other and you'd kind of have stalls in your attacks. So instead you buffer the inputs there at roughly 360 beats per minute. And there's the dolphin son. Ready to go reunite with his mother. Wow, you've done it. Alright, we go talk to the dolphin son and dolphin mother. They thank us for saving, the mother thanks us for saving her son. And now they show us the way out of off of the island. And we head on to the next chapter. Alright, at the start of chapter 3, there's a storm, and it crashes our subsea, and Mike gets thrown onto shore. As we know, Mike cannot swim. Oops. Input didn't work there for some reason. Alright, now we have to walk. We have to find a way to fix our ship. This is a pretty short dungeon right here, but it's one of the more difficult. A lot of RNG in here. These are dodos. They will only attack you if they see you, and then they'll charge towards you. There's 2 more in this room. Kind of hope that they stay up on the top left, or top here. There we go, that was really good, that's optimal. Alright, now these are the flying monkeys. They just kind of jump around. Their movement is RNG, but you can sort of like tell where they're going to jump by seeing where they're facing. Alright, there we go. Now we don't see the flying monkeys anymore the rest of the game. Thankfully. That. We're throwing one of those there so we can jump when those platforms appear. Oops. Nice. I didn't get that to work out the way I planned, but we got a good backup. Alright, this is a dark room. We have to light these, well, hit these switches to turn the lights back on. And then we're done with this dungeon, real quick. If you were to go out the left, go left in that last room instead of to the right, or sorry, left in that last room instead of up, it would actually spit you out of the dungeon. You have to do the whole thing again. This game has a couple dungeons that have false exits in them, most notably the graveyard, which we'll do later. This is Miracola. We have to talk to a bunch of people in this town to gain access to leave the town and gain access to the next dungeon. This girl in this blue dress is Mira. You have to tell her that she's cute, otherwise she will not let you progress. He asks us who is cuter, her or the girl from Coral Cola, the first town that we were in. If you tell her that Coral is cuter, she gets mad. Alright, so now we talked to enough people, we can access the chief's hut. We talk to the chief. The chief lets us know that his daughter, Benannette, has been sleeping, or is under a curse, and won't wake up. Before we can leave the... he offered to fix our submarine if we can find a way to uncurse his daughter. Tells us of this hermit that lives on the island that has a spell that can reverse the curse. But before we can leave the town, we have to go verify that Benannette is indeed asleep. Benannette is sleeping, so we may continue. I walk through this forest here. Talk to this guy. Wishes us good luck, and we can move on. Alright, now we're going on to the second dungeon in Chapter 3. Gonna jump over these to conserve some health. Gonna manipulate the movement to these guys. There we go. Oops. So this dark room, you need to lure these snakes to know what platform to jump on. And then the lights turn on over here. Pretty cool puzzle. Now we have a slingshot, which is a new weapon. Slingshot does 2 damage per hit, but you only have 10 ammo. Oopsies. Okay, I'm gonna have to... I messed up the buffer in there because I didn't have my weapon ready. You can buffer if you turn around while moving onto the tile. Oh shoot. Like that. It saves you, I think, what, 2 seconds or something like that? But if you miss it, you lose a whole bunch, so. High risk, low reward. Alright, we can get our slingshot out and take care of these gadflies. Gadflies will charge at you if they see you diagonally. The Mad Muddy. Mad Muddy is going to attack us while we try to hit these switches. That was pretty good RNG. We are heading towards the the second dungeon boss, Magma the Fierce. Magma the Fierce, you can't actually attack. You just have to hit 2 switches that drop the platform that Magma is sitting on. And then Magma will drop into the water. Alright, we take a hit there. Because I took a hit, I'm going to kind of play this safe here. There we go. And that's Magma the Fierce. The joke that I always say when I get to this part is that Magma is on top of the water because he is the resident water heater of the island. So because we defeated Magma, all of the islanders now have to deal with cold showers for the rest of their lives. Alright. What we're supposed to do right now is we're supposed to go to Shikola, the Castle Shikola, and then talk to the fortune teller in Shikola, who tells us that they lost their crystal ball at the bottom of the lake in the graveyard. But it is not a required flag, so we will just go straight to the graveyard and get retrieve the fortune teller's crystal ball. But first we have to do the dungeon. There are 5 dungeons in Chapter 3, the most out of any chapter, so it's the longest chapter in the game because of that. We go down to this and enter the graveyard. We have to drain the water in the lake so we can get to the bottom and retrieve the crystal ball. Oh, there we go. There's some bone dogs at the end of this long hallway. I was not ready for them. And they're overlapping, which is not ideal. There are invisible ghosts in some of these rooms. We can only see them if we use a Rod of Sight. However, we don't need to get the Rod of Sight to progress, so we won't get it, at least not in this area. Doing all these jumps, and that is to avoid 4 invisible ghosts that are in this room. There's another invisible ghost in this next room that we're going to jump over. We do not want to go up those stairs because it will take us out of the dungeon. We'll have to do everything over again. It's a troll exit. There are a couple of those in this dungeon.
Don't worry, I won't say anything. Okay.
I'll wait until that shoots. Alright, we have to do this dark room completely blind. There are some sinking tiles at the end of this room. As long as you buffer all the inputs correctly, you will land on those when they're out of the water. And we did it right, so good. Our Armstrongs, we have to destroy 2 of them to get out of this room. That is a fake boss. Plays the boss music, but it's not actually the last boss of this dungeon. Okay. We do have to use the rod of sight that we picked up earlier to reveal these ghosts. Which, depending on the setup, sometimes they don't show up on screen, but they're there. Okay, we have to grab these magic mirrors. If you don't grab these magic mirrors, you can't defeat these enemies in here, and then you're stuck in here and you have to take a death. That's why that water pit's here. Oops. Oh shoot, bad positioning there. Okay, there we go. Oops. Okay, there are 6 mummies in here, but you only have to defeat 4 of them to progress, so you have to monitor which 4 are the ones you need to destroy. Alright, there are some Wizrobe type dudes in here. Dim Hags, I believe they're called. Then we have to defeat these skulls. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Okay. Alright, now here we are at the boss of this dungeon. That's Maxie. Maxie, the big ghost that goes boo. We're gonna throw these bolas at Maxie. There we go. You want to end this fight with with at least 2 hearts, because there's 4 hearts in the next. Oh, because after this dungeon, you end up getting the upgrade to your weapon, but it requires you to have 6 full hearts to use it. So you want to end that fight with at least 2 hearts left, because there is 4 hearts in the next dungeon at the very beginning. You want to be able to have 6 hearts at the beginning of the next dungeon, and through to the rest of the chapter if you can. So ending with 2.5 is good. If you would have had less than 2 hearts there, it's actually pretty ideal to take a death in the next dungeon and which will reset you to 3 hearts, and then you can grab the 4 heart drops. Oops. And then you'll be at full health. But we don't have to worry about that. Alright, we just grabbed the crystal ball. Now we can go back to Shikola and bring it to the fortune teller.
Oh my god.
All right, we give the crystal ball back to the fortune teller. We can't go into the Castle Shikola because it's only women are allowed in the Castle Shikola. So the fortune teller gives us a disguise to use to enter the castle. And now we go and talk to Queen Shikola, who will commend us for defeating the ghosts in the graveyard. And then rewards us with a upgrade to our weapon. So our yo-yo is now a shooting star, which is kind of like a mace. Gameplay-wise, it's important that we have the shooting star because now there is a projectile on the end of our weapon. Oh, and also our weapon does 2 damage per hit instead of 1. But we can only use the shooting star if we have at least 6 hearts. So if we take any hits, then we will downgrade to our yo-yo until we refill back up to 6. Alright, this is the 4th dungeon of Chapter 3. Shortest dungeon in the game. We have to jump on the switch 10 times and say abracadabra. Abracadabra. And the bridge appears. Here are the 4 hearts I was talking about. There we go. We're going to manipulate these enemies in this room in a specific way so they come out of the... Actually, I think I messed it up. That's fine. I wanted to go up on that. Anyway, there we go. All good. Still pretty fast. There are specific tiles in that room where the enemies will come out of the water. Alright, now we are headed to the last dungeon of Chapter 3. This is Hermit's Mountain. To climb the mountain to find the Hermit. It's really important that we don't take any hits here. I'm gonna try my best not to take any damage. Because now that we have the shooting star, like I said, all of our hits do 2 damage instead of 3, or sorry, 2 damage instead of 1. So if we take a hit and we lose our shooting star, all of our enemy, all the hits we do on enemies are going to take twice as long, effectively. Okay, there's frappas in this area. They're called frappas because they're kappas that jump out of the fire. Fire kappas. Oops. We got good RNG on them. Jump over that gadfly. All good there. That is Yorick. Poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Shoutouts to all the Hamlet fans out there. Yeah. Alright, these are goglins. Walter Goglins. We only see them in 2 rooms in the whole run. That's the one right there. And we'll see 1 stray goglin in a room coming up here. When they see you, they charge at you. When you attack them, they charge at you. dodge all these attacks. All right, here's the last. Oh no, this is the buddy. This is the big bad bully room. Oh boy. Okay, good. You can manipulate him to go that way so he doesn't run into you when you're trying to defeat or press the button. All right, that's the last goblin. There's no more. Oof. Those do like something like 2.5 hearts of damage to you if they hit you. We're gonna try to slide past this next bully. Attack while we slide by. There we go. Ideally in this game, you want Mike to be a cool guy who doesn't look at explosions. You want to do just as much damage to an enemy and then turn around as it's blowing up. Any extra attacks is just wasted time. Wow, you've done it! That's the last dungeon of Chapter 3.
I know we uploaded this. I don't know.
Now that we have we got to the top, we talked to the hermit. The hermit gave us the spell that we will now use on Benonette. Bee-ba ba ba boom ma ah bob. Bee-ba ba ba boom ma ah bob. Get up ba ba boom ma ah bob. And Benonette wakes up and immediately wants a banana cream pie. We get back on our submarine that they fixed for us. And we move on our way. Alright, Chapter 4 is next. Is the only chapter in the game that does not have any real dungeons. It's all overworld. There's some foreshadowing in the shape of the island in this chapter. I'll let you guess what might happen to us. The giant fish with teeth. We're going to go into this town here and we just have to talk to this one child up here whose name is Bait. They tell us that they saw a guy with a raft going east of the island. So we're going to head that way and see what's going on. And then we get swallowed by a whale. And here we are in the belly of a whale. And the person on the raft was Babu, our uncle's assistant. Babu tells us that they found he had a lighter, but dropped it in the whale. If we hit that lighter, we can build a fire, and then we can build a fire to make the whale sneeze and potentially escape the belly of the whale. So there's a specific way we got to go to get to the lighter. And then probably one of the more infamous things about StarTropics is coming up here. When we escape the whale, Babu will tell us all about how our uncle was abducted by aliens, and he was afraid to tell us about it earlier because he was afraid that the aliens would like probe his mind or something. And so he tells us now. But probably the most famous thing about StarTropics is that he tells us that our uncle left us a message, and that it's hidden on the letter that he wrote us. And in the game, we don't actually have a letter, but if you have a physical copy of the game, there's a letter attached to the back of the manual. And Babu tells us that we have to get the letter wet. So if you get the actual physical letter wet that's attached to the back of the manual, there will be a secret message that has a code on that is 747 megahertz. And you input. Thank you. And then you, so you have to input that code in order to get to the, or to exit chapter 4. If you did not have that code, you would just have to guess all 999 possible codes, which I've seen people do before on stream. All right, here we go. They type in 747 megahertz. And it activates a like some kind of like radar system that tells us the location of our uncle. We're going to use that to find our uncle Dr. Jones' location. This is chapter 5. They want you to go to that town first and kind of get to know everybody, and then they tell you about a parrot that belonged to or is the great grandson of the parrot that was owned by Captain Bell. Captain Bell being the captain who fought off a bunch of pirates for this that were trying to attack this town of Belcola. There is a ship. Captain Bell's ship is on the island, blocking the strait that we need to get through. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go to the town, and they're supposed to tell you to go talk to the parrot on how to like get rid of the ship. But when you go talk to the parrot wants a gift. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go exploring and find that fisherman up there who gives you a worm. You grab the worm, and then you can give the worm to the parrot. But because we know the solution already, we go and we get the worm first. And now we go and we learn all about Captain Bell. So we have to talk to the people in this town, almost all of them. Only like what, maybe one person in this town we don't have to talk to. I never remember. I have to talk to this guy? I actually don't remember. We're gonna talk to him anyway. I don't remember. Anyway, now we have access to the chief's hut. The chief tells us about Captain Bell and all the stuff I just told you about. Tells us to go find Peter the parrot. Here's Peter the Parrot, which has one of the best songs, I think, in the game. Unfortunately, it won't be there very long. We give the Peter the Parrot the worm, and he gives us the clue, "Do me so far, do me," which is supposed to be you're supposed to translate that to notes on a keyboard. So, do me so far, do me. If you go to Captain Bell's, or if you find Captain Bell's memorial, there is a giant organ in there. So we need to go to the organ and play Do Mi So Fa Do Mi on the keyboard, and it will open up a passage to the dungeon. All right. There's like a secret passageway through the mountains here. Takes us to Captain Bell's memorial. And here's the giant keyboard, or organ. So do, mi, so, fa, do, mi. And then plays a little ditty. Alright, everybody in chat, get your Fs out in chat. I'm going to be entering the F room. Alright, F's in chat for the F room. F. Alright, here's the Chapter 5 dungeon. This dungeon, the gimmick is all about traps. Lots of enemies and lots of various traps. First one here, the floor disappears after a while. Once you get about halfway through, start shaking. We're gonna hit the switch to exit out the room, but first we want to fill up our hearts so we can use our shooting star. Jump over this, otherwise we'll get hit. The pinballs in this room will bounce back and forth after you hit them. Jump over that. My favorite room. I just like the sound it makes when you enter. Alright, fall into the pit here. There's a bunch of sharp spikes. Sneak past here, otherwise if you try to go in the north area, you'll fall back into that pit below. And we got another trap room coming up here, where the floor will disappear. Take the fastest way to the switch, which is in the bottom left corner. Alright, I'm going to try to do a trick here. Go. Hopefully. Good. Skip a cycle on that ball if you're able to get those hits in. Hopefully it doesn't hit me on the way back. And the way back through here. Okay, we're good. Alright. Just have to destroy this snake. Get through this room. Everything else is a distraction. Picking up a rod of sight because there's one ghost that we'll need to destroy in one of the rooms. When you play this game casually, there's a lot of trial and error of like trying to figure out where to go and what to do, which as a kid was really cool. But a lot of when people go back and play this game as an adult, I feel like they get kind of frustrated because they don't really have the time for exploring. Oops. What do I do? I apparently pressed whatever the combination is for that menu. It's okay. We'll make a note to turn that off for the next one. Alright. Here's that ghost I was talking about. Okay, we're gonna just kind of buffer do a damage buffer through there. We got good RNG on those spikes. We're going to buffer a hit here, so we jump when the sinking platforms are out of the water. Okay, this bowling ball kind of chases after us. But you can stall it by hitting it up to 2 times. Alright, we're good. Should be one more. There he is. Clear those snakes. This is the last room of this dungeon. Have to hit this switch 3 times, and that will drain some water and sink the ship, allowing us to sail through the strait. Everybody, your 07s in chat for sinking of Captain Bell's ship. Wow, you've done it. now we can move through the straits. And head to the next chapter. Alright, in chapter 6, we end up in this archipelago, where you're supposed to kind of explore around. There's a lot of like NPCs and weird things that you can find in here. We're going to skip all that. We're just going to go straight to where Dr. Jones is, but there's a lot of funny dialogue and weird items that you can find that don't do anything. There's a big apple on one of the islands that is supposed to kind of like look like a heart, but it's just a big apple, and when you pick it up, it says, "You found a big apple." You eat it. It does nothing. And then you just move on. You can find the bones of Robinson Crusoe on one of the islands here. Yeah. Once we get to a certain spot in the archipelago, Navcom will tell us that they picked up a signal of our uncle, and you're supposed to go. You're supposed to use the signal to determine the spot where you need to dive underwater to find Captain Bell. But we know the spot, and we try to avoid any spot where Navcom would normally tell us about the code or like the signal. That's the spot. Go down here. This is the dungeon that I like to call 6-0, because it's not really a dungeon, but you go into dungeon mode. Just 3 rooms. That's that. That's dungeon 6-0. Alright. Now for the first real dungeon in chapter 6. Chapter 6's dungeons are some of my favorites. The second dungeon in chapter 6 is my all-time favorite because of all the different types of enemies and bosses that there are here. They're really cool. Also gain access to a new item called the anklet in this room. The anklet allows us to jump over a gap of 2, but only in the room where we pick up the anklet. This is the Pokeball room that I call it. We have to defeat these 3 pink mummies. I'm just gonna... yeah. We're not gonna deal with that. There's a cool trick that's coming up here. That far right Octot, you can't hit it from the spot where you want to hit it from unless you take some damage here. As long as I did it right, which I didn't, I would be able to hit that. From that distance, you can only hit that Octot every other frame. So essentially, what you do is you take damage and then you buffer movement so that you end up on the right frame to reach that Octot. But I messed up the buffering, so it didn't work. The mummy ring, really scary. Those things do a lot of damage. You don't want to lose any of that health. Oops. I expected him to go down. Alright, this is Turboss. Turboss is just a reskin of Octa the Huge. Usually use some audio cues to determine when Turboss is going to come down, but we'll use visuals. We'll see what we can do here. I'm going to grab the anklet while we're waiting, because Turboss is being a butt. I'm not going to get it. Oh, nope. I was going to say, he came down while I went to go get the anklet. I think he's like 1 hit down. Oh, a couple. That's 2 hits. You do not want to mash. You want to buffer. If you mash, it'll actually go slower because like the inputs will overlap and it won't work. Yeah, so you want to buffer. So it's dependent on how far the enemies are from you as well. So, ooh, look at all these hearts. Oh my gosh, look at them! Look at all these. I'm gonna grab it. Yeah, when an enemy is right next to you, it's 360 beats per minute is what you're supposed to be buffering at. So you can
No problem.
Grab your metronome and set it, if you can go that high, set it to 360 beats per minute, or just put up a YouTube video. That's what I do sometimes. And practice your buffering. We got these cool cleats that can hit all the enemies on screen and do 1 damage. Pretty cool. We don't use it very often, but this is the long room. I'm going to try to buffer these inputs optimally. Oh, I took that hit from that thing, fortunately. Oh! We do have a potion. I kind of forgot that I had. I don't normally have to use it. Oh, we picked up this one weapon, the baseballs, or the horse hides as they're called in the manual. The horse hides can't damage any enemies except for the boss of this dungeon. I'm gonna use this potion. And the boss of this dungeon is Broken Joe, is the name of him. And he's the only one that you can be damaged with these baseballs. You have to throw the baseballs into Broken Joe's mouth, kind of like a carnival game. We'll try to time this. There we go. We'll give him a couple kicks for good measure. And there we go, through there. That's the first dungeon in Chapter 6. Wow, you've done it. Now's when the lore starts getting dumped on us. This is where our uncle is. He's somewhere in this cave. And on our way to the next dungeon, we find this giant weird rock with like 3 cube-shaped holes in it. Looks like Fred Flintstone's bowling ball or something. So that is like a giant meteor that we'll learn about later. This is the second dungeon in Chapter 6. This is my favorite dungeon. First, it's got this secret passageway through the wall over here. If you go north of this room, it's like there's a bunch of... the room just loops over and over again, but you can enter this room and see that there's like another path to take. Alright, and then we get this weapon here called the Asterisk. Basically like a ninja star that like splits, which is pretty cool. We're gonna use that a lot in this dungeon. Ignore these gadflies. Go through here. Alright, this room is pretty tricky. There's fuzzballs in here, like in Zelda, that if they hit you, oh jeez, if they hit you, you can't attack. Normally, alright, good, thank goodness. They don't do any damage to you, but you can't attack for like 5 seconds or something like that. Normally, that room doesn't take that long. We are going to grab these hearts. This as well. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I think it's down select is what it is. That is a clay doll. We will see more of them later in the second boss fight. Alright, these are Rockies. You can't damage them until they appear on the far end of the room. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh! You want to have at least 10 of these asterisks when you're done. I might pick up some extra, just in case, or maybe we'll YOLO it, I don't know. The last boss in this area It's easiest to defeat it with the asterisks. You need 10 of them, but I'll grab some extra just in case. Alright, we're gonna try to do a quick kill on these guys. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh! Oh! Hmm. Well. Alright, well, we got one more boss to deal with, and, oh, I have a potion! I forgot! Alright, hopefully these guys aren't super aggressive, but we should be alright. We'll see. Ooh! Yeah, just take it! Yes!
Yuppie, yuppie.
They can just go nuts and attack you while you're sitting there, but
It's so delicious. It's fine.
those clay dolls, when they run into you, the boss fight I had a really hard time with, apparently. When they run into you, they do 13 hearts of damage, which at this point in the game is more than you have. Or 11? 11, I think. Anyway. They're supposed to kill you in one hit, so it's ideal to get hit by their projectiles, because then you have some iframes to work with. Whenever people are learning how to do that boss fight, I always say, don't jump over the projectiles, because if you jump over them, then you'll just get bodied by them and you die. So just take the hit and then walk through them. Anyway, this is our uncle. And you're like, oh, this guy looks a lot like my dad. And this is because it's your uncle. You need to buffer a right input here. He tells you the story of like what happened to him. He got kidnapped by these aliens, and that the aliens the Argonians on this planet were trying to escape the evil aliens, and they are trapped inside these cubes that came down on a meteorite, and that was that big rock that we found. And the aliens were stealing the cubes, and the Argonians are still like trapped in the cubes or whatever. The story just goes wild right now. So now we're on an alien spaceship.
You never would have seen this coming from the start of the game. Wait a minute.
Yeah. This is the star part of StarTropics. Finally, in Chapter 7. This is called the bottleneck. We call it that because this is kind of where most runs die. We'll see if we can get it through it on first try. There are some backup strats that you can use. Hit that guy to manipulate him to move backwards so he gets out of your way. And dodge that. Take that hit, that's fine. Oh. Oh boy.
Oh.
Okay. Alright, we're good. This is enough health. You want to get through here with more than 5. Oh god. Well, what was I saying? Alright, we're good. Okay. I'm gonna take down the boss here. These are called the jetpack jumpers. We might take a death, I don't know, we'll see. Oh god. I'll try to be as safe as I can be. Oh, no, we gotta do it again. I didn't take out that turret, which kind of threw me off. We'll try it this way one more time, and then if I don't get it this time, I'll do the backup strat. Damn. That's fine. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah, when they overlap like that, that's the problem. Alright, we'll see if we can make this happen. Okay, got rid of that turret. Sometimes we call these guys fat bots because their hitboxes are actually 3 tiles wide. So when they line up like that, it's really nice. When they charge at you from the left or right, that makes it really difficult. Wow, you've done it. Woohoo! Alright, next second dungeon in chapter 7. We just we're gonna come across one of the magic cubes. You need to get 3 magic cubes in total. This first one is going to upgrade our weapon one more time from a shooting star to a supernova. The supernova, you need to have at least 11 hearts to use, and it lets you do 3 damage per hit instead of 2. Oh, and it travels across the full length of the screen, which is really awesome.
As he said, wow, you've done it yet? That's my favorite part. What? Do it again.
Don't worry, we'll get another wow, you've done it. Don't worry. There's more. No! Alright, this alien here, we call him Jeff. Say hi to Jeff. Sometimes Jeff will body you. We don't want to jump into the circuitry below. Oh, as I almost do it. Oh. Hey. We hope that those line up, and they didn't. What a bunch of jerks. There we go. If the RNG works out, you can hit them all at once as soon as you teleport in, but alas. We're going to grab Vitamin X, Space Drugs. Space Drugs make us go Super Saiyan, so we're going to be flashing red for a while here. We go diagonal to these enemies to kind of manipulate their movement a little bit, and then you can buffer the shots as they're walking to the next tile. Oh! Alright, I got the shield gun here, which does 4 damage per hit. We're going to use to melt this boss. Alright. We have one more boss in this area to deal with. Ostroid. The giant, like, ostrich-like mech. I'll do a glitch kill on it, because why not? It's a nest block. It'll be really fun. Not the fastest way to do it, but it is the most fun. It is cool. Alright, we're gonna buffer some movement here so we can walk over these tiles without taking any damage. Alright, and then we'll do a glitch kill on Ostroid here. Oh, or it's gonna do a glitch kill on me. Not a glitch kill, just a regular one. Let's go in here. We'll take that. We take these things.
That pill that makes him like super jacked up.
Yeah, the space drugs.
Yeah. Well, you know what it really should be called?
What's that?
Buffering.
Buffering. All right, let's try this again.
But
Shoot me! Oh no! We're gonna do it! We're gonna do it! It's gonna be so cool!
I believe.
Ah, I did it again. Okay, here we go. Yay! There we go. It's just, yeah. It's supposed to jump back further, but there's a wall there, so kind of freaks out. All right. Wow, you've done it. There you go. Oh, good, good. Now we got to get the next magic cube. It's a giant maze. Remember back in the day when this was content? Just mazes, you know?
Thankfully, there aren't any random encounters.
No, yeah. Then it really would be an RPG.
The RPG elements being
Yeah, in Overworld. This has been run at RPG Limit Break.
Yes, I did see that right.
Yeah. Alright, there's our second magic cube. Our second magic cube fills up our hearts all the way. Which is funny because you start the next, even though it takes all this time filling up your hearts, it's just for the drama of it all, because you start the next chapter with only 3 hearts. Oh no, we're taking off. Now we're going up into space. Bully, 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 bully. Bully, 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 bully. Bully, 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 bully. There we are, we're flying through space. Alright, Chapter 8, Final Battle. We gotta defeat Emperor Zoda. This is where we discover who is behind all this. And some of my favorite lines in the game. An illusionary image appears before you. You hear an evil voice. Ha ha ha! I am the Prime Invader, Zoda. Come on, try and beat me. You'll be defeated like the Argonians. We'll destroy you. Ha 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 ha! Come on, Mike, come on. Your head is aching. You jam bananas in your ears. You shout, "Get out of my mind, alien scum!" Hell yeah. Now we go fight the alien scum.
Bananas with jam, that sounds good.
Mmm. Alright, so this used to be a really annoying part of the run where, because you can only attack Zoda when his head appears, and sometimes hands will appear. And then Fuko, oh, hang on. Fuko and the Tantalus discovered that if you hold down in this room, it changes the percent chance of a head appearing from like 40% to like 75%. It used to be not uncommon for there to be like some people to get like 10 hands in this room, and then there goes all of your time. And now it's uncommon to get more than like 2. Shoutouts to Zoda's single middle tooth. His middle tooth. Alright, that's the first boss of Chapter 8. There are 2 more. Yeah, we took our space drugs.
Literal child shot in the chest 6 times.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, good. Alright, this is the engine room. I forget what we call it. The reactor. Oh my goodness. Alien scared me. Oh!
Oh.
The reactor can heal itself, which is really mean. Nice. Alright, so now we move on to the final fight. We are going to farm some health on our way up, though. We want to at least have our supernova. Yeah! Fun.
Gotta be better than
Alright, here we are, Zoda Prime. Hello. Hello.
Bye.
Time will be when, oh yeah, there. That's time, yeah. Yeah, so time is when you defeat Zoda because sometimes they're... Oh, hey, a Zoda heart. Yum. Yeah, Zoda, the time is on Death of Zoda because if Zoda only spits out 1 or fewer of those little Zoda spawns, it will automatically warp you to the credits after you defeat Zoda. So to account for that potentially happening, like, it's pretty common to get that because Zoda won't spit out those spawns if you're next, or if you're like within like 2 or 3 tiles of him. So it's pretty common for that for him not to spit them out, especially in a speed run where you go ham right towards him. So anyway, we stopped time there. That's why. But because we didn't get the glitch, now we get to see the rest of the ending. So we get the last magic cube, which was powering the ship. So now the ship is going to explode.
Wow, now you've done it.
And there goes Mike in an escape pod.
jelly bean in there.
And as we have discovered throughout the game, Mike cannot swim. Mike will try his best. Unfortunately,
If he just did this every time he fell into the water throughout the game, he would have been
he would be
totally fine.
okay. He would be fine, yeah. So we drown, and that's game over. No, it's game.
And turn again on.
And then the dolphin that we saved earlier shows up. This is the dolphin mother. Then you have a moment like in Billy Madison. Boy, am I glad that I called that guy. All right, and then we go back to Coca-Cola. We celebrate with a soda with Babu, cola. It fills your hearts all the way up. And you go talk to the chief, and your uncle's here. You have the 3 magic cubes. Monsters disappeared from the island. We're indebted to you. Navcom here. Circuits indicate success. Mike, you've done it. You risked your life. Thankfully, we didn't see her because we didn't get a game over. Got pretty close, though. Join the 3 magic cubes.
Shout out to RGL.
Yeah, that's all right. That's got to be it.
Oh,
They're transforming. Something's happening. There's the Argonian children. Everybody pick your favorite. I'm pretty particular to the... Okay.
oh, we're now in got frozen.
Yeah. So then they're like, oh, well, all these boys and girls can live on the island with us. Like, oh, that's very kind of you. We're really hungry. How about we have some banana cream pie? And then they all go fishing. Then you get one of the coolest endings on on the NES. I like the ending music, and you also get to see a bunch of like cool pictures of your adventures on the way. That's it. That's StarTropics. I'm ZeroCounts. Thanks for letting me play this game.
Thank you, sir.